Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, I figured maybe I'll answer some more of these RPG a Day 2016 questions several months late. So, where did I leave off? Let's see, number 13. What makes a successful campaign? That's a good one. That's one of the ones I kind of like better. Successful campaign. Well, I like a sandbox. I like things to be kind of open-ended. Doesn't mean there's not stuff going on. It just means that the game master isn't going to railroad you somewhere, and you're free to kind of move about the game world. That said, what it really takes is some good people all around, good game master, and then some really creative people. I think players that are willing to take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and not just be led around, um, by the whatever you're led around by. I forget now, but not be pulled along on a leash and strung along, and really just willing to say, hey, let's go here, let's go there, let's check this out. If there's not even a lead there, let's go make one. That's where I've had the most fun, on both sides of the screen, where the players kind of drove the bus, so to speak, and the game master was left in a position of you know narrating results, adjudicating, that sort of thing, and kept on their toes. That makes a good campaign when it's really exciting and vibrant and dynamic. So I think it's definitely some good prep on the game master side of the screen, for lack of a better word. But then really active, really involved players. That makes for a good campaign. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if things go badly. But just the fact that people are involved and doing all this stuff, that makes for a really good and really interesting campaign. So those are the ones that I've liked. Whether they were great successes or whether it was just we constantly ran with our tail between our legs. That's a good campaign. Your dream team, the number 14, your dream team of people you used to game with. I don't like this question just because it's kind of I don't know. I hate to leave people out. There have been some people that really stood out, and so hopefully I get to game with some of them again. But in every case, so I'm not going to name them. In every case, it's kind of going to go right back to that first question. These are really dynamic and creative people that just when they said something, I kind of stood back and you're like, you're kidding me, really? I wouldn't have thought of that, or like that's cool. These are the people that I like to play with, or that are just also just fun to be around. Period. So a little bit of a cheat, but that's what I got. Number 15, I guess. I get the numbers covered up. Your best source of inspiration for role-playing games. That's another one that just it depends. I mean, definitely, I've said before, I'm a sucker for a premise. So if I see any kind of movie or TV show or read a book or short story or whatever, and there's a premise that I just like really jumps off the page at me. It doesn't have to be the main premise of the story. Stuff like that just instantly, kind of has my gears turning in terms of like, well, how could you game with that? There's a whole bunch of great stuff, and if I turn around, I'm just looking at my bookcase, which is behind the laptop, and there's just tons of great ideas. Even here, this is a book I got to talk about. It's just kind of staring me in the face. But Tales from the Flat Earth, Tanith Lee, Lords of Darkness. Great, just great source of inspiration for like what demigods, for lack of a better term, demons could be like. Stories themselves don't translate really well into role-playing games, but the flavor, cool. That isn't necessarily my best source of inspiration. Other than that, then it's just people. The community, in one way or another, online, is just amazing. The forums are the forums, and we've all had experience with those. But just through the RPG Brigade, just asking a question, getting like a million different perspectives, or just hearing other people's perspectives, period. You're like, oh wow, so it comes from everywhere. I think it's just how open-minded I happen to be is how much I benefit. Let's see what else. Historical person I would like in my group, and in what game? I don't know. What am I supposed to answer? Like some kind of badass? Let's see. Isaac Asimov. There you go. Doesn't matter what game. I want a guy that's that smart and that witty. Doesn't matter what game. So yeah, that's the guy I'd like in my group. How about that? What fictional character would best fit in your group? That's got to be 17. Yeah, 17. I don't know. Do you mean like playing with us, or like actually in the group? then I guess they're supposed to be some kind of badass. You know, in which case, maybe I'll take Scar from Glory Road. You know, I don't know. It really it really depends on the game, I suppose, and like, you know, what you'd want. Let's see, what innovation could RPG groups benefit the most from? Geez, that's a one that I'd really have to think about more. I didn't really, you know, plan these too much. I just kind of opened it up and said, "Let me talk," which always works well. You know, which is this is a good advertisement for preparation right here, kids. I don't know. I tell you what, just the advent of things like, was it Roll20, Google Hangouts, all these things where we could actually play when we're not physically together. Probably one of the biggest ones out there. You know, I'm not sure, you know, off the top of my head what we could, benefit from more right then. You know, I mean, and even just the point where, like, if we want to, at the table we've got, digital access to the rules if people bring their tablets and all that kind of stuff. I don't know about that. I don't know. You know, maybe a cellular dead zone. You know, so someplace where you're just undistracted. How about that? Let's see. Then number 19. Best way. I love this hat here. See, I don't like the glare on my head. You know, when I got the overhead light on, so I put a hat on. It's cold here too. Best way to learn a new game. I like to go personally. This is my personal method. I like to read it. I like to go over the rules, kind of get a feel for it. Definitely ask people that have had experience, and then and actually do it. That's really the, and in the ideal situation, you're doing it with some people that have already done it, so they have experience, they know what they're doing, and then when you get to a certain impasse, then they can tell you, you do it this way, and then so yeah, learn by doing, but also just kind of getting my feet wet in all the various ways I mentioned. Let's see. Number 20. This is comical. Most challenging but rewarding system you have learned. Well, that's interesting. Not too many have been super challenging that I've stuck with. Let's say first edition Dungeons and Dragons. How about that? Because that was, you've got to be kidding me. That was I mean, I love the game, but that was pretty good. 2021. Funniest misinterpretation of a rule in your group. I have to think about that one. That could go a lot of different ways. So I might, yeah, 21, 22 supposedly random game events that kept recurring. Keep recurring. I'll tell you what, supposedly random game events keep recurring. Play with this guy. Play with more than one guy, but this one guy sticks out in my head. He's a nice guy, so I'm not picking on him. But he would get bored of his character. And, sometimes the character would die. Sometimes he's just like, I'm going to play a different guy. And the character would be exactly the same. And it wouldn't even be an avatar of himself. I'm not sure what it was. Exactly, even to the point where the game master at one point said, and here comes this new guy in the group who's going to be surprisingly like the old character. I don't know if that's really random. Also play with another guy that has I think he might have 3 actual personas that his characters adopt, and we were playing this one game at a con, and his first character got killed, so now he's on to the second character. And so what's going to happen. The rotation is Sean Connery, really, really hammed up Sean Connery, or James Bond Sean Connery, and the next one's going to be Conan, Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan, with the voice inflection. I forget which is the third one, but kind of looking at him as we're going through this, thinking like, well, what if he dies 3 times? What's going to happen? Like, who's he going to be now? It's got to be Sean again. Oh, that's terrible. Now I'm picking on people. So, yeah, I'm going to skip on this funniest misinterpretation of a rule in your group and think about that one. So I'll stop this one here and come back. Because the worst luck story one I think I've shared already many times. So that's it. I will talk to you later. That was terrible timing. still watching. We used to play that song in a band I was in years ago, and it would go on for like 27 minutes. A lot of fun, though.